Well, I hope you're already confused about retention by now. On one hand, YouTube gurus tell you this.
Because I told him if he doesn't get 70% retention on a video, then he didn't do something right.
And on the other hand, they tell you this.
The thing is, even though he's breaking every YouTube rule, he's still going crazy viral. They all have very little editing, so you won't see any B-roll or special effects or even text, yet they still manage to hold attention.
But the question is, what is true? What should you go for? Well, the good news is, I have grown this YouTube channel to 5K per month in profits. And one of the key factors behind this growth was a high audience retention. So let me tell you what really works. See, the thing is, a perfect editing style is not one that gets you 70% retention. It's the one that matches your viewers' expectations. Let me give you an example. Now, if you're making entertainment videos like Mr. Beast or Nico Milana, then you need high energy, rapid pace, and hyper dialogues.
What goes to Barry Scott?
No! Don't worry, I'm not a psycho. This lady is an actor.
Because your viewers are looking for entertainment, so they are looking for a challenge.
This dropped out 5 minutes and 5 women in the middle of the wilderness. And whichever group survives the longest wins that 500 grand.
Or something outrageous to be entertained. But if you're making educational videos like Ali Abdal, then you need simple B-rolls and graphics. Why? Because the goal here is to deliver value and build an audience connection. Now, of course, you can always use hyper-edited intros to capture your audience attention like Mr. Who's the Boss.
Have you ever noticed how when you open Instagram or TikTok, all the notification symbols are red, even though that's not a common color used within the rest of those apps? Well, that is a very deliberate decision.
However, there is more to this than just jump cuts. More on that later. But here is the funny part. Even Mr. Who's the Boss slows down in his videos to explain a topic deeper when he approaches the middle of the video.
I mean, for example, you know how some apps have unique notification sounds and vibration patterns? Like Slack, for instance. Clearly, Slack want you to know when you have an important work alert.
Now, it also depends on your personal preferences. I mean, look at how Marcus Brownlee has minimal editing, although his setup is aesthetically pleasing. Whereas Mr. Who's the Boss has that oomph. But both of them are successful tech creators. So what's the catch? It's not about the algorithm favoring fast-paced editing. It's more about what you like and what you're comfortable with, and whether or not your target audience resonates with that. Now coming to how I managed to improve my audience retention. If you ask me, I like to keep things simple. Remember, I talked about how I took a channel to 5K a month after I improved the audience retention? Well, I did that by keeping my edits simple and by focusing on showing on the screen what I'm saying. For example, let's say you make a video and you are saying that you struggled to get views until you watched Dominating YouTube. You can show that by using facial expressions, screenshots, and B-rolls. That's it. But again, that may not be enough.
I knew it!
Now that you have more clarity about audience retention, let me show you some editing techniques that will make your videos 10x more interesting. Starting with the retention in your intros. Without a doubt, the intro is the most crucial part where you need high audience retention. This is the part where you show that unique value that your video will provide. Put 10 times more effort in this part to prove to the audience that your video is worth their time. Here is how you can do that. Technique number 1. Reinforce the expectations set by your thumbnail and title in the first 30 seconds of your video. Talk about the topic in the first few lines and try to match the visuals of your thumbnails and the first few scenes of the video. This will subconsciously tell your viewers that yes, the video has what they expected. In fact, Mr. Beast does the same like this. Technique number 2. Show why your video is unique. For example, in this video, I started first with the myths and confusions around audience retention instead of starting directly with the techniques. Because everyone can give you techniques and tips, but firstly clearing the myths and confusions, that makes this video unique. Plus, you can also use high-stake visuals to keep your viewers engaged. Did you see how scripting and editing goes hand in hand? You can never make up for a lousy script with flashy editing. And this is the real secret behind what Mr. Who's the Boss does, and not just jump cuts. Now coming to retaining audience throughout the body of your video. Tip number 1. Use A-roll for personal or important moments like this. This helps you build a personal connection as well. You can use techniques like changing backgrounds, adding text overlays, and switching camera angles to maintain your viewers' interest. Tip number 2. Use B-rolls to explain concepts and add variety. A small zooming effect on your B-rolls with subtle movements help boost the audience retention. Such zooming effects can also make your screenshots feel more dynamic and engaging. Also make use of visual elements like arrows or glowing effects or highlight effects to drive attention to certain parts of the video. Tip number 3. Create smooth cuts using scaling, a changing perspective, and full screen transitions. Sometimes jagging transitions can help you grab audience attention, but use it sparingly because you don't want to overwhelm your audience. Tip number 4. Avoid using overlong clips because they ruin the pacing of your video. Trim excess content and cut out the fluff to maintain viewer attention. Even Sam Sulek does this. Tip number 5. Make use of memes to explain concepts and spice up conversations instead of just using lifeless stock footages. Now this is my favorite strategy because everyone can relate to popular memes, right? Tip number 6. Match the music to the mood of each video segment. For example, using high energy music in exciting moments can improve a viewer's investment.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Tip number 7. Use sound effects to punctuate important sections or elements. You can integrate risers, hits, and drones to build tension or release it, or maybe to create suspense. Tip number 8. Avoid clear patterns and add pattern interruptions. If your editing is predictable, then it becomes boring. For example, if your editing is fast-paced, then you can add some slow sections as well. Or try to use multiple music genres and explore different emotions. I mean, watching a 10-minute video that has a constant editing style can be pretty boring to watch. By changing things up, you are re-stimulating your viewers' attention, which makes it easy to tell a good story. Now that you know the editing techniques to improve your audience retention, here are some simple yet effective bonus tips to give you a head start on your YouTube journey. Number 1. Script and plan your videos in advance. No, I am not asking you to write a script and read it like a lifeless speech. You should write your script in your own words, but make a habit of writing it down. And only then you can put all the expressions and life into the script while speaking on camera. Number 2. Use a good mic. Viewers can forgive bad video quality, but not audio quality. So consider investing in a good mic because that makes a big difference. Number 3. Be yourself on the camera. Talk to the camera as if you're talking to a friend. And trust me, it's easier said than done. But with a little practice, you will be good to go. And in case you're running a faceless channel, the same goes for your voiceovers. Talk to the mic as if you're talking to a friend. Number 4. Edit to amplify your personality. You should include natural moments like tangents and mistakes, which can make the overall video feel more relatable. The goal here is to be genuine and relatable, not some so-called expert that people will look upon. Number 5. Trust the value you're delivering to your audience and not just the editing. Don't feel the pressure to constantly stimulate your viewers unless you're in the entertainment niche. Focus on inspiring people, sharing your experience that will make an impact on your viewers' life. I mean, that is more important than some fancy edits or hooks. Now you have a clear understanding of what audience retention is and how to work on it effectively. And there is someone who has implemented all of it. Learn by Leo, who crossed 2.5 million views with just 5 videos. I have broken down his entire strategy in this video.